Logan.
It's After Hours with Ty and Millions. In for Mariah.
Your weekly download of their extracurricular activities. Enjoy.
This week on After Hours with Ty and Millions.
I ate a lot of Mike and Ike's. Frodo and Buffy are here.
One way to learn all the moves, just get hit by all of them.
Hey, hi.
Hi, we're really into movies these days. We're actually a movie podcast now.
We're all about movies. Sam, what are you doing? He's touching a pole.
Why are you touching
or something.
stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. He's touching dust. Anyways, we've got an exciting interview with my buddy Antony Hall from Ready or Not 2.
Yeah, there's a blood. There's meeting celebrities. He was a great convo.
Yeah, you'll enjoy my chat with my buddy Antony. I knew him from improv back in the day, and it's fun. He's in a movie with Elijah Wood and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah,
Is
starting.
it Gellar or Jeller?
It's never been Geller. It's always been Geller.
Okay.
Buffy. Starting now.
It's now in the team's verse.
After Hours with Ty and Millions.
Okay, joining us now, all the way from Toronto in the Microsoft Teams Averse, my good buddy who is a podcaster. He's the creator and star of Ming's Dynasty. He's a pro wrestling commentator. He's in Second City, Toronto. He's in Ready or Not 2. It's my buddy Antony Hall.
Yay!
Wow. Thank you for the warm welcome. You know, when you list out my resume like that, it actually sounds pretty impressive.
You've been at it for a long time, man, and I didn't even have to look that up. Like, I just knew all those things, so.
That's really nice. You know, I don't think that we've been in the same room together for a very long time, and I'm very happy that you're able to just rattle off all my credits. All my credits there, man.
Well,
that's so nice.
So Antony and I met back at Rapid Fire Theater probably in like 2013. We were doing the courses there. I think we did them all. And then you went off to Toronto, and I went off to do radio, and one of us made a smarter choice than the other, I would say.
Hey, man, you know, you've been working pretty steady in the radio game since you finished your program there. So, I mean, I don't think that it was a bad choice. And I had to grind for a long time in Toronto before I became the man with the long resume. So, you know. We're both getting to the places we need to be, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, we just did a cameo voice in an indie video game, so things are really up for me.
They're going crazy right now.
This is huge. We're gonna finally join you
great.
on IMDb there. Tell us about how you got the spot in Ready or Not 2. We both went out and saw it, and we both loved it.
Yeah, you were hilarious. I do gotta say, definitely a notable character in the game or the show.
Movie.
Jesus, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. It kind of just happened about as most television and feature film roles happen here in the city. I got an audition that came across my email from my agent, and I thought to myself, whoa, they're making a second one of these? And because it had been about, I think it's been 7 years since the first Ready or Not came out, and it was a bit of a sleeper hit. And you know, to my surprise, I read this part and I was like, wow, this is something that I think I can nail. And I went to my buddy's place, and usually we tape auditions together. Now that kind of the COVID-19 thing kind of changed how we do stuff as actors, we're all taping for the first round of auditions now, and we have our little setups in our apartment, and I like to go to my buddy Francis's place, and we just fired off a tape. I had a lot of fun with it. I bought some food for the scene just so that I could have something in my hand, and that kind of, I think, really sold the tape to the production team and to casting, and from there I just kind of like waited and I didn't hear much, and I was like, okay, well, the part's gone. They probably hired some big American actor or a guy with like 50K followers on TikTok or whatnot. And yeah, then it came back around, and I was so surprised. Um, and yeah, I had 5 6 days on the production. Uh, and yeah, the rest is history. You got to see some goofy stuff. I ate a lot of Mike and Ike's,
Yeah.
more than you might think, because there's only kind of one scene in the movie that made it with me eating the Mike and Ike's, but there were supposed to be a couple. And yeah, it was my first big studio feature. I had not been a part of a movie of that scale before, and it truly like was the best time. I think you can only go down from here.
I'm surprised you didn't go out and buy yourself a new Switch and write it off, because that's what I would have done. Because you got a Switch in your hand at the beginning of like your first scene when you appear. I would have been like, you know what, I need it for a role, and then go to my accountant. I
Oh,
needed it for a role.
so originally, the character was just playing like a phone game,
Uh,
and there were like a couple of different sort of like slot machines. It's kind of set in a big compound that has like a casino and a
mhm.
hotel and whatnot. And one of the scenes is the character going up to old lottery or old slot machine and like trying to figure out how it works, and he kind of like hits it a little bit and is confused, and then he just goes back to playing the slots on his phone. So that Steam Deck
Sorry,
Nintendo
Steam Deck.
Switch
Yeah.
looking thing that I use in the movie wasn't actually added until probably the first day I got to set, or that first read through. So I had to kind of quickly pivot and figure out like how I was gonna use that in the scenes that I was featured in. And luckily, I mean, I just kind of channeled my 10-year-old self playing Game Boy Color for the first time, and I just disappeared into the device, if you will.
Here's why you're probably doing this, and you make waves. Like, how did you contain yourself around Elijah Wood, man? Like when I saw you in
Ugh.
that with him, I was like, I would have freaked out.
Oh man, yeah. So, uh, as you guys know, there's a huge kind of scene off the top of the film. Once we kind of get back into the world of it, which is Elijah Wood and all the members of the families getting together and the game restarting. And we had a big read through for that. And at that point, I knew who the two sort of like main characters were going to be, Samara from the last film and Catherine Newton, and they're playing sisters in this one. But I didn't know any of the additional casts. So being in that room, seeing like some of my Toronto friends and other Toronto actors that I recognized was really fun. And then just being surprised by when the directing team, the production team, and a very small blue-eyed man walked in. I was like, oh my God. And then like right behind him was Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I know I probably shouldn't have done this, but I texted my girlfriend like immediately, and I was like, Frodo and Buffy are here. Uh, uh.
Like, what an intimidating room that would be. Seriously, for a big feature film, and to have those big of names just walk in like that, shit myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really really taken aback, and the nice thing about those guys is that like Elijah Wood is truly the nicest man you will ever meet.
Mhm.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar is also so warm and so friendly. And I talked about it before, but it was just the vibes were immaculate. It was so welcoming and fun. And we only had one big scene together between the entire cast, but Elijah spent a lot of time with the Toronto cast, and it was really, really cool to just get to know him, hear him talk about Lord of the Rings. He would just refer to it as rings.
That's so
And I was
cool.
like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, of course, yeah, Lord of the Rings short form, yeah, it's gotta be rings. And he would talk about just being a foodie, and and how he enjoyed Toronto and the different kind of styles of food that were available to him. He's such a lovely guy, and I think that really disarms him because he is like a humongous movie star, but he is also like just a really nice person to be in a room with and to hang with.
And how did it compare to doing a Ming Dynasty? How does it compare to your CBC Gem show, buddy? Like that's
a huge
that's
jump.
what I want to know what it was like to make that, because I watched the whole thing, the whole series. So
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like being your own boss versus working at a giant office. When you're working on a huge feature film, you are important, but you're kind of just like a bit of a cog in a machine, and there are so many different moving parts that the rate where you could just get lost in the work or be kind of not forgotten necessarily, but there are other priorities and there are people who are making more money. There are more important things that are happening every single second that are out of your control. And then making your own series, you are firmly in the grasp of like every scene, every beat, every moment. And the stakes are different. They're both high, I'd say. Making my series, I was telling a story that was really close to me that I invested heavily into, but making the movie, like you're burning like $1 million a day, So you got to be ready to execute and to perform at your best when you're called upon. And the pressure is different, but they're both really, really special experiences if you get to have them.
because you shot the show out here in Alberta, right?
Yeah, we shot Ming's. God, it's been a long time. I think in 2018, in and around Calgary, and like a quick day in Coaldale where the show happens.
Before we move on from the movie, I got to touch on, and spoilers for anyone listening, the blood.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Can you just kind of talk about the extent that you have to deal with when you're doing scenes like that?
Okay, so I was one of the very lucky cast members of Ready or Not 2 that didn't have to endure the blood cannon. It is amazing. I'll send a BTS picture to Ty later. It's like several big canisters of blood that is like rigged up to this, what I can effectively only describe as a giant leaf blower, and the sound it makes is just so intimidating. And a lot of the reactions that you see in the film are the actors just genuinely being like, oh my goodness, this thing just like exploded basically point blank in my face and covered me and the rest of the room with blood. It is like a true spectacle to watch, and I hope if I get to work with the directors, Radio Silence, Matt and Tyler again, that I get to be on that receiving end of the blood cannon. But like, my goodness, it is so fun to watch it get set off and see the aftermath and hear it in the room, in the scene. Spoiler alert, that I die. After the explosion, you can hear all of the blood dripping off of every single piece of furniture in the room, and it is like so much. It is a bit chilling, but it's also hilarious.
I know. I think your death was my favorite of the entire movie.
Yeah, you saw it a day ahead of me, and I was like, I just want to see if my buddy dies in it.
I just didn't say anything because your death is so funny in it because it's just right in the middle of the fucking room. It's so
Thank
good.
you.
And yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, I loved you in the movie. I thought you were so funny. It was a really great comedic performance with very little to say. You did such a good job. And like the character was so easy to just like laugh at, which I assume is probably your point.
yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was yeah, it was, like we were talking about earlier, like doing a big movie like this can be so intimidating when you're surrounded by like just bona fide Hollywood stars, and to be able to hold your own and get your moments of laughter, like that meant a lot to me, and it's also a testament to how good the script is and the writers putting me in a good place to succeed.
And so, because you're mostly a comedy guy, like I said, like from what I've known you, you're one of the funniest people I've met. It was no surprise that you went
Thank
up to
you.
Toronto and you've been killing it. Like, how's Second City come about? How's that going? And like, what's that experience like? Because we don't have anything like that here in Calgary.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Well, Calgary has some really fun comedy spaces as well, and I think a place that is similar to the Second City is the Loose Moose, and they do a lot of improv comedy. And at the Second City, a lot of my work is improvised, and then there's also pre-written sketch. I've been at the company in Toronto for just about 2 years. I started understudying some of the shows that were happening. Then I got into the touring company, and now I'm on main stage. Unfortunately, I had to miss about a week of shows here. I just got a little sick, but I'm on the mend, and I'll be back. And it's really, really special to be able to write your own material for that stage and perform it to hundreds of people every night except for Monday. And I have such an amazing cast of just certified killer comedians. Everybody works so hard to get one of those spots. There's 12 spots for sketch comedians in all of Canada to work and be paid to perform sketch comedy every night. So I feel so lucky to be able to be there. And yeah, and every night you find fun moments. Sometimes you mess up a little bit, but it's all a part of the fun. And if anybody's ever in Toronto, please check out the Second City Toronto. We are doing completely original sketch comedy review, a sketch comedy show that opened last week and will probably run until June.
Sick, buddy. That's just so sick. The one last thing I want to ask you before we let you go, because we've used about 20 minutes of your time. How'd you do the wrestling commentary? How did that come about, dude? Because, you know, me and you both like the wrestling. And I remember when I met Kenny Omega in my gym in Winnipeg, that was like, you were one of the people who were like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I have been working for a promotion in Toronto called Greektown Wrestling for, I'd say, just over 2.5 years. And I started as a fan. I started just by going to a show. It happens inside of a church in East Toronto on the Danforth, and a friend of mine who's also a comedian, shout out my commentary partner and Greektown kayfabe general manager Nug Nargang. He saw that I was interested in doing commentary, and the moment struck where one of their main commentary guys wasn't able to make it for the show, and he called me in, and basically I was like, oh, I don't know if I know like all of the moves. And he's like, don't worry, I'll do play by play, you be on color, and just follow the sort of age old trope of heel commentary. You hate everything that the good guy does, and you love everything that the bad guy does. And from there, I just started to build a bit of a persona that is just like a more dickish version of myself. And I've had, yeah, just the pleasure of calling a lot of awesome matches featuring talent that has wrestled in AEW, WWE. And yeah, it is truly like a dream come true because I get to use my love for wrestling and improv. because we're just calling it on the fly. We're trying to make things in the ring make sense and also just bring it alive for the people who are watching online.
You gotta get in the ring and take a couple bumps. You gotta do it.
Yeah, maybe. I'll get to it.
You gotta do it.
I need to take it. I'll take a super kick here or there.
One way to learn all the moves, just get hit by all of them.
Yeah, just get hit by it.
Yes, that's right.
You won't forget.
Experience them.
We're going to one in
Yeah,
Calgary
that's right.
here on Thursday where it's bring your own weapons. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Fans bring the weapons. So that's going to be lit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anthony, we were out of time here, buddy. But if people want to follow you on social media, it's at Holland Jokes. And if they want to see your sketch group online, it's a $20 sandwich, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Dude, look at this. I'm rattling it off.
He's a super fan.
Anything else you want to promote or say or get out there while we got you on here?
Yeah, just get out and support your movie theater. Go see Ready or Not 2 while it's still there. And if you're in Toronto, come check out the Second City Toronto. Our main stage review is called World's Gone Wild. And, take care of yourself. And, that's all.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast, man. We really appreciate it. And congrats on the big role. I'm sure we will see much more of your face in the future because super funny guy.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time and chatting with me, chopping it up.
Yeah.
And nice to see you, Ty.
Hey, man, next time you're in town, let me know. We'll grab a million beers. It'll be great.
That's
Let's
your
go.
favorite number.
Yeah, I love drinking them.
After Hours with Ty and Millions.
Do we do a sign-off?
Yeah.
Wow, what a great chat that was.
Wow. Oh my God. Yesterday, we were so charming and funny.
I'm not hungover today.
No, he
Anyways, let's say bye.
Okay. Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
What if we just exploded into a bunch of blood and guts right
That
now?
would be fun. Sam, can you do that?
Yeah. You can edit videos.
Can you make us explode?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Sam can do it.
Can you do that?
Logan, you're on sound effects. 1, 2, 3. We explode.
Whoa!
You've been listening to After Hours with Ty and Millions. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and have new episodes downloaded to whatever device you use.